Job done. Look at this. It's taking me down a road to go to Kubu. There's definite fence line over here. And that's the road I'm supposed to take. It's never been driven. What's going on? So I'm not clear why it's taking me on this route, the shortest route to Kubu, and down a track that is actually not a track anymore. When you don't know the area and you don't know where you're going, you trust what you're getting information-wise from your GPS. Otherwise you do it the old-fashioned way and go to the village, ask directions, and then move on. It looks like I'm going to have to do that because I am completely wasting time going down a track that is for naught. Something well worth knowing is that on your approach to Kubu, there are multiple roads leading to Kubu. Here we are at what appears to be a lookout. Tracks for Africa is telling me not to go the route that looks the most main route. Instead, it's this route here, which is like a two-spur puck into the bush, overgrown and soft powdery stuff. Powder dust. Oh. It's hectic. I'm pretty sure the underbelly is scraping on all of this. But there's the pans in front of us, so that's not bad. Last time I went through that sort of dust was Namibia. Right. Bring on the pans. Let's head out on the pan, people! Woohoo! Wonderful thing about these pans is that as soon as you start driving on them, you have this complete surreal experience. It's as if your senses are heightened as you hit that pan. Sight, sound, smell, and yes, even your brain has exhilarating and eerie thoughts. As your speed picks up and the horizons seem endless, I'm suddenly aware there are no landmarks, no vehicles in sight, and now I know I'm completely alone. Does appear to be rather hectic, but one nice thing is it's quite a cool wind. I expected it to be hot and dry, but it kind of gives you that sea breeze cool feeling, which is pretty cool. And maybe it's because I'm doing 70 k's an hour. Want you to take this track, which isn't on Tracks for Africa, but Tracks for Africa wants you to take the purple one, which they say is closed, and everyone's taking the purple one. So Lebo is from Kubu Island Community Office, and he's got a big problem with people coming to visit Kubu because there's a new route, you say?
Yeah, the new routes which are diverted to the new office. Yeah,
and people are taking the wrong route.
Yeah, people are taking the wrong route, the old route. We have diverted our routes to the new office, both sides from south and north. So they must follow the instruction or the sign which have been directing them to the new route, to the new office.
I'm gonna love it. I've driven out on the pans and my Garmin is telling me cannot calculate the route.
The wonderful thing about traveling in Africa is you're never alone. I headed out on the pan to enjoy the sunset, and who should arrive but the people I camped with at the Rhino Sanctuary.
Hey, cheers! Cheers! Yeah. Mane funny pana. Oh. So it seems at Kubu I am very much the last one out. There must be easy 10 cars out waiting for the sun to rise, which is pretty awesome. So I am going to see if I can find a little spot to stop. Didn't catch that red glow as much as I should have, but hey, it is what it is. sunrise this morning. I've got an extra day here, so 2 days, and the plan of action is to investigate the island, and the other one is to go and see if we can get to South Island. So what I think I'm going to do is go and get some cereal first, and finish my cup of coffee, and then we will head out and explore the island. There are so many overlanding vehicles, foreigners hiring cars. This couple, a French couple, arrived last night very late, and I told them the first thing to do is head out on the Pan, and they were out first. They were the first car out this morning, because my campsite was right at the edge of the camp to where everyone goes. But yeah, let's go and explore now. I think south of the island is probably the starting point. So I'm standing here at the big baobab tree that everyone would have arrived at in the past. Remember yesterday I was talking about the wrong route in and the correct route to the office. This is the spot that wrong route comes to, and it's quite iconic with this huge baobab. It's like one of the biggest baobabs on the island. It's got a little plaque there unveiled by the Ministry of Tourism, and a signboard that's rather faded, but I'm going to have a look around. So I've packed myself a rucksack with some snacks, some camera equipment. We're going to park the Troopy up under this big baobab, and we're going to go and explore the island. It's nice and cool now, so any slithery friends will hopefully still be a little bit asleep. This is quite a trail of hired cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Toyotas. Oh, no, number 8 is coming along. Wow, how beautiful this is.
I saw somewhere that these white marks on the granite rock could be the remnants of petrified guano from birds settling on the island.
So here's the wall they speak of. So this is the stone wall on Kubu Island. Legend or stories have it that it's the legend of the lost city, which it could or could not be, who knows. I'm informed it's around 200 meters long, and why it was put here is a little bit of a mystery, because apparently there's no real signs of proper human inhabitation with the exception of a couple of hunter-gatherers that spend some time here hunting animals. So as I'm busy walking, I'm looking at that wall and thinking to myself, I wonder if it was some form of barrier against the waves that would have crashed into this island, or docking point, but then I'm no geologist. Just a theory to quell the swell or the waves from washing up against the island if there were people here. A guest on Andrew St. Pierre White's channel, Mike Main, suggests that it is post-Zimbabwe era and that it could be around 1400 to 1600 that it was put here. The wall has a semicircular shape to it, and one presupposes that someone would have lived inside of this wall, but according to archaeologists, no remains of any civilization in some form of pots or anything like that have actually been found on the island. So apparently this wall goes from one shore to the other shore. So let's go take a look and see into this uncomfortable bush. My theory is, for naught, it would have worked down the bottom there as a wave queller, shall we say. But up here on the top of the kopje of the mound or the hill, it would have done nothing. And there the wall goes right over. I find this fascinating, trying to unravel the history. So it seems to come around over there and block off the south end of the island, not the north end of the island. So the stonework doesn't appear to be the same as Great Zimbabwe, but what's stopping us developing a theory that one of the stonemasons from Great Zimbabwe came here and started to build his own little spot. Pretty awesome to get out the car doing some walking for once around the island. It's pretty beautiful. I'm heading up to the summit of the island. So I'm literally on top of the survey beacon at the top of Kubu Island, the highest point on the island. And you can see right the way around, all the way around. Back on the pathway again. Seem to be doing some bundu bashing, heading to the north side of the island. The ranger here says that's where the stone cairns are, and getting hooked on branches here, and the cave that I'd like to try and see. So I've come off of the peak of the south of the island, heading north, and there's this section in the center which is very flat. There's a plaque here, so if I'm lucky and I found the right cave, this is where people would come to make offerings to their ancestors. They'll leave a 1 or 2 tebe pula, and that will be the sacrifice. I believe I am correct. There is the money that's been left here as an offering to the ancestors. I got a little lost trying to find the initiation cairns, and the guide or the ranger said to me, that tree, and in that area, go there. So we're just heading straight, using my bush tracking skills, which are non-existent. Here's the second tree, but the long grass keeps going. I believe this is the remains of a cairn that's fallen over or been pushed over. I half expected to find actual cairn. If someone else has seen something bigger, let me know. It's another one, I would suspect. So this is very much looking like a cairn site. There's one over there. There would have been one over here. And very definitely one over here. And the story goes, and then even one over there. The story goes that this was used as an initiation site, and that boys were brought here for their initiation ceremony, and at the end of each ceremony they would then build a cairn before leaving. So that brings me to the end of my tour on the island. Now we're going to attempt to go to South Island. It's not a common trip that people do. I have been warned by the ranger that the pan could be quite soft. I have some intel from a mate of mine who has done it recently. So here goes nothing. Let's hope we don't get stuck. And Troopy is still standing there in the shade of a baobab tree. Let's go to let's go to South Island. So I'm following tracks that I suspect are of my friends a couple of weeks ago. A couple of months ago. Following the cattle path, apparently a good option to avoid sinking in.
As you edge your way along the pan, you see these dark patches and light patches, and I'm constantly concerned about sinking into the dark patches. My only sense of comfort is that there are some old tracks and one slightly new track on the pan. Some depressions here, I don't know what they are. I think they must be from animals digging in the salt flats to get the nutrients. But people, there is South Island. It is quite special to come through this far to South Island. There's two sections, one over there and one over there. We'll see what we can go and see. Here's an interesting geological formation. Got a solid granite rock. Now we got two veins, one like that, but then one tees off like that. That's interesting. Literally tees off, goes down. Interesting. And this one continues further through the island like that. And over there, it's vein. Oh, and here's an even wider one. Oh, I wish I was a geologist and I understood all this stuff. And another one. Geez, they're like pretty regular. Oh, that's fascinating. Very regular. Doing. Like two, maybe a meter and 2 meters apart. In a straight line across the island like this. Quite fascinating. And while I've been doing that, I completely missed the baobabs for you. Let's see if we can go over the other side. Well, I'd say I'm on the summit of South Island, the west side of South Island, because as you can see there's an east side of South Island. It's not great when people mark trees like this, but have a look at this one, the Million Star Hotel. My next ambition was to now see if I could circumnavigate the island. I made sure to stick to the shoreline because I was acutely aware that if I got stuck, I was on my own.
So I'm constantly checking my tracks behind me to see if they sunk in or not. And that's a telltale sign that I need to turn around or not. Currently on the south side of South Island, there are the trees that we just took some pictures of. And this surface is getting a little bit more tricky by the looks of it. It looks softer. So, job done. Managed to circumnavigate South Island, which traditionally is not a feasible thing. I think I'm fortunate that I came when it was fairly dry, but it's good to see it. And I might consider camping here tonight instead of Kubu. Kubu is extremely noisy. With the people going to the festival, last night was extremely noisy going to sleep. People were making noise till very late. Not only people going to the festival, there was that group of 8 cars that were making some serious racket. Okay, this is a colossal mistake. I have not been in 4x4, so I've driven to South Island in 2x4. That is just stupendous, and I just hit a really soft patch of pan, and the car just hooked a little bit. Every now and then we hit a soft patch and the car's engine just slows down and goes, ugh. The tracks are turning towards Kubu. That's a piece there that the whole car just goes and slides sideways. I certainly wouldn't have attempted this in the wet season. I don't think you'd get anywhere. This looks like one of those soft patches. Guys have had to go sideways and all manner of ways when it was a little bit wetter. So this is the fork in the road coming from the north side. The left side goes to Kubu Island itself, and the right side, as the sign says, takes you to the office where you need to check in. So rather take the right side, because that's what the officials want you to do. They want you to come and check in. They can't have people just arriving on the island and taking up residence without them knowing. So I thought I would have a little bit of fun. There's the island. There's me in the cruiser. There's me getting out of the cruiser. There's a cruiser doing its own thing. It's driving itself. It's driving itself. How cool is that? I'm currently walking at the same speed as the cruiser is onto the salt plains. Alright. Enough fun. Let's get back in the car. Come on. Come to daddy, come to daddy. You know you wanna. So it's 5 o'clock and we're heading out for our sunset spot. We're hoping to get a good spot today. So, while I sit and watch the sun go down at Kubu Island, I had a very productive morning. I got up early, got the sunrise, managed to get some pictures. I then did the walk across the island and back, investigated all those wonderful things. I then even managed to get to South Island, and then I got back from South Island and volunteered to go and do a track for the rangers or the community to get onto Tracks for Africa. And when I got back from that, it was like, I don't know, 1 already. And I just spent the afternoon lazing around. I had a shower, got myself all cleaned out the Troopy, and then started doing some backups, which went pear-shaped. But I found myself on day 6 starting to feel like, yeah, this was a bit too much of Kubu. I think one night is sufficient. There's not enough to do for a whole day at Kubu. I was warned by a friend of mine, Roland, but I thought, yeah, I'm going to come here and relax and enjoy it. To the extent that I'm sitting here waiting for the sunset and then tomorrow's sunrise to happen so that I can get moving again. I want to move. I want to get to Deception Valley. Although there's still a whole huge heap of anxiety around arriving there. But I just realized, for me, overlanding isn't about sitting still, and I need to go and see new places all the time. I got ants in my pants. So I'm feeling a little anxious right now. Kind of, I want to get going. It's, yeah. Anyway, let's enjoy the sunset.